All right, guys. So let's talk a little bit about Trump's polling now, especially when it comes to the issue of the economy right now. He's in trouble. So I should say, usually from the first month the president is in office, there's this honeymoon phase where you basically get like a mulligan on everything, right? Like, so you just take the White House. The American people are like, all right, give the person a chance, right? And so to put that in perspective for you, Biden was plus 17 his first time in office. I don't know how long it lasted. Maybe it was a couple months and it slowly went down, but he was plus 17. Virtually every president is around that or even better, right? Well, with Trump, we're seeing something unprecedented. What we're seeing is right now, he's already like dead even. Some polls have him as high as like +4. Other polls have him like -2, -3. But in general, he's like dead even. He's not above water. He's not underwater, right? That is historically bad right now for your favorability rating and what's supposed to be your honeymoon period. Well, guess what? This is only going to get worse and worse and worse. And we already have some great numbers highlighting that right now. Here we go.
Look at presidents at this point in their presidency, right? And the word here that I would use to describe Trump is awful. In fact, the only person who does worse than Trump does right now with a +1 net approval rating is himself back in 2017 when he was at -8. So he's doing better than he was.
I was going to say, you could put it another way.
So again, this is net approval rating, so we're talking about general numbers here. I think he's going to get to the economy.
He's making gains.
He's making gains, but he's doing worse than everybody else. The average president at this point, get this, plus 27 points on.
Damn. The average president is plus 27. Trump is plus 1.
Net approval rating. Donald Trump is doing historically awful. The only person he beats is, again, himself from term number 1.
How about on the issue that, one, he says he was most elected to fix, and he said he would do it on day one, which would be the economy?
On the economy, well, he beat himself on overall, but on the economy, he can't even beat himself. Again, this is historically the worst going back in polling at this point in a presidency, the net approval rating on the economy. He's right.
Bro, it used to be the case that Trump, and even just the Republicans in general, the one issue where they would consistently poll better than Democrats is on the economy, which is kind of crazy because in my lifetime, it's always been the case that the Republicans crash the economy and the Democrats have to come in and save the day, right? And that's happened multiple times. But Trump, his first term was +8 on the economy. It was one of his better numbers when you narrow it down to specific issues. That was one of his better numbers. It was on the economy, +8. Now he's -4 on that. Holy shit.
Now at -4 points. In term number 1, he was at +8 points. Historically, the average is +15 points. He is doing nearly 20 points worse than the average president when it comes to the economy on net approval rating. He is historically doing awful, awful, awful. Weak. And on.
This is the honeymoon phase, y'all. The honeymoon phase. This is what's happening.
The issue on which he was elected to, of course, fix, he is doing historically awful. This is not good. If this number holds, you can guarantee his overall approval rating will go down, and it could take his entire presidency with him.
And this also now can change very quickly because of tariffs. I mean, you have a lot of mixed reaction coming in from especially amongst Republicans on what these tariffs are really going to mean. I mean, can these tariffs help the president?
I don't think they're going to help the president, at least in the near term. And the reason why is simply put, look at the opposition. Americans oppose tariffs on Canada. Look at this. You got nearly 2/3 of the country opposing it on Canada, 64%. How about on Mexico? Nearly 3/5 of the country at 59%. We're already dealing with a president who, what we're having is the economy bringing him down. These tariffs, in my mind, will only bring him down further. Again, historically awful on the economy at this point. And the tariffs, I think, will only lead to further deterioration, Kate Baldwin.
If prices go up, that is not the direction that Americans elected him to push them.
Americans don't like the idea of prices going up. That leads to approval ratings going down.
I'm telling you, man, when all's said and done, he's going to be in a George W. Bush-like scenario, Dick Cheney-like scenario. We're going to be looking at 30% or lower when all's said and done. I have no doubt about that. No doubt whatsoever. Because he is making just wildly reckless decisions and acting like, the fact that he's been relatively Teflon so far in the sense that he still got back in the White House. Bro, it's not like you're overestimating it and you're overreaching, right? And so I mean, we saw the segment the other day on Fox Business. There was a reporter in the field. He was at a car dealership. He was like, you guys see this Dodge Ram behind me? This cost $80,000 a minute ago. Now it costs $100,000. Why? Because of the tariffs on Canada and the tariffs on Mexico. And you're going to see this. We import like everything from Mexico and Canada. This is what you're going to see. This is what you're going to see. Prices are going to skyrocket. At the same time, the market is tanking. You're going to have unemployment go up, the market go down. You're going to have inflation go up. We're going to be looking at fucking like stagflation, which is the worst case scenario for the economy and worst case scenario for any president to be in, right? But as we discussed the other day, he might literally want this. Why would he want it? Because effectively, it allows him and his robber baron buddies to buy everything up on the cheap. You have like 10 people, all his buddies and loyalists, basically own everything in the economy. You're effectively a peasant. You're effectively a corporate slave. And we officially enter the next Gilded Age, which is what he wants. He's openly talked about the 1890s were the best time. We were the richest we've ever been. We weren't. It was like 4 people who were the richest they've ever been, and everybody else was living in tenement homes, and there was child labor that was rampant, and there was extreme poverty and wealth and income inequality, and that's what he wants, bro. That's what he wants. So it may be on purpose that he's doing these things. It genuinely may be on purpose. So we're not done yet, though. I believe we have some more here on the economy in particular. Here we go.
The economy to the top of his agenda enough?
No.
There's an answer.
No. The answer to the question is no. Trump and the economy. He should prioritize. Here on planet Earth, 82% say it. It's almost as if Trump is on planet Krypton. Look at this. He is prioritizing the economy. Just 36%. My goodness gracious. I don't understand how this mathematical formula works, right? If the economy is the number one issue, if that's what Americans think you should be prioritizing, and well less than half think that you are, no wonder Trump is having problems with the economy, because simply put, he's not putting it to the top of his list the way Americans are.
We all know the stock market doesn't tell you everything about the economy. It is one indicator. But do Americans care a lot about the stock market? It used to be that a lot of Americans weren't in the stock market. That has changed, though, hasn't it?
That has changed tremendously. You know, sometimes I look up numbers and I'm just shocked at them. This, to me, is a shocking number, and it tells you why the stock market is so important to perceptions of the economy. American adults who have a job currently, at least in January, was 61%. The percentage that own a stock, either directly or indirectly, perhaps your 401k, 62%. So the stock.
So to be fair, yeah, 62% of Americans may own stocks, but the overwhelming majority of the stocks are owned by the top 1%. And like virtually all of them are owned by the top like 10%. So it's a little bit of a misleading fact here. But at the same time, again, Trump and all of his insider buddies could short the economy, so bet on the economy going down, and then Trump does the tariffs, which are guaranteed to make the economy go down, and they could profit tens of billions, and then Trump can reverse it, right? So, like, I don't know, all the insider games that these people play, man, you can't put anything by them, bro. You can't put anything by them. I mean, the fucking president of the United States launched a crypto scam 2 days before his inauguration. If he's willing to do that, he's willing to do anything.
It is as important to economic perceptions in my mind as is the unemployment number, given that about the same percentage of Americans, in fact, if you believe it, though it's within the margin of error, 1 point more of the American folks actually own stock than actually have a job. And that's why the economy or the stock market going this way could lead to Donald Trump's approval ratings following along on the roller coaster.
But it does have a lot to do with 401ks, because a lot of people in their jobs have stocks because of their 401ks. We've gone away from the pension system and into the 401ks.
Which, by the way, this is why Social Security is so important, right? That's a social insurance system. That's what it is. The payouts are guaranteed. And, you know, there's been this mass movement. Hey, why don't we privatize Social Security and invest all of it in the market? The reason they want to do that is to give their Wall Street asshole robber baron buddies a cut of the money. But also, the market is fucking volatile, bro. You don't want your, like, all of your retirement money, basically being gambled with in a casino, which is what that is. So that's why the right is just wrong on this issue. Protect Social Security at all fucking costs. And of course, we know Elon Musk has already fired 70,000 Social Security Administration workers, and they're trying to automate everything and use AI. Like, really? We're going to have, 80-year-old fucking Bethany call to try to get something figured out with their Social Security, and it's AI on the other line? I mean, that's criminal, bro.
Let's go now. You're welcome for the financial advice.
Thank you. I was watching my 401k go down yesterday. That's what was going on.
What about last night's speech? Did that have any impact on how people feel about Donald Trump?
We will see, but I will just say, color me very skeptical, because going back through history, the job approval shift post-speech to Congress, the average president goes up, get this, but just 0.3 points. Trump's average was up 1.6, but that was just a momentary bump. That really isn't going to change the game. Something's going to have to happen with him on the economy and perceptions of him and how he's dealing with the economy if he wants to see his approval rating go up instead of go down like it currently is.
And the fact that he promised some disturbances may not help him much at all.
No, American folks aren't liking what they're hearing, at least at this moment.
I saw a poll, and apparently this Trump speech was polled as the worst of all of his speeches, the worst of all of his, like, State of the Union speeches. Damn, bro. I saw the other thing. God, this pissed me off. It was so misleading. There was one poll that was like 72% or some, like, really high number of Americans like Trump's speech. But then you dug a little deeper into the data, and 70% of the people they asked were Republicans. It was like 10 or 20% Democrats. Like, that's not a fair representation, you know? So there's still some skewing of the numbers going on to try to spin a certain narrative. But the fact of the matter is, this was his least popular of all of his speeches. He rambled on fucking forever. And there's only so much spin you can do when it comes to certain issues. And if we end up with stagflation, I mean, there is like, you're just cooked. You're just cooked, you know? And that's what we're seeing with these town halls. People are already furious. Elon Musk and Doge are fucking public enemy number one. You know what number of Americans support what Elon is doing? 26%. That's already Dick Cheney territory. It used to be the case when Elon wasn't nearly as big of a public figure. He was like plus 30 for his approval rating. Now, he's down there in Dick Cheney territory. So, it's wild. What we're witnessing is wild. But these numbers, as Harry Enten himself said, these numbers are awful for any president. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.